There comes a moment in every man's life where something inside him just snaps into place. Not from anger, not from bitterness, but from a calm and ancient knowing that whispers, "You were never meant to chase what cannot see your value." And that right there is the moment everything changes. Because when a man finally puts himself first, the universe stops treating him like a beggar and starts treating him like a king. This is the hidden truth most men never discover until life forces them into silence. Your absence teaches louder than your presence ever could. Your restraint becomes a language. Your detachment becomes a signal. And the second you choose yourself, not as a strategy, not as a manipulation, but as a genuine step toward your own inner peace, you trigger something profound in her mind. She doesn't just notice, she feels it. It hits her like a cold wind she can't ignore. She senses the shift in your tone, your timing, your energy, your willingness to walk away from anything that costs you your self-respect. And suddenly, the man she thought would always be available becomes the man she now has to think about. This is the hook, the truth, the spark. A man who stops explaining himself becomes a mystery. A man who stops waiting becomes desirable. A man who stops chasing becomes unforgettable. Before we continue into the psychological unraveling that happens inside her mind, do me one favor, Stoic soldier. Lock in your mindset right now by dropping a comment that says, "I choose myself." And while you're here, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join the Stoic army of men mastering their emotions, their strength, and their purpose. Now, let's begin. The first thing that hits her when you finally put yourself first is confusion. Not anger, not certainty, just a silent, growing question she can't quite shake. Because she was used to the version of you who always reached out first, who always checked in, who always reassured her even when she gave you nothing back. She was used to your availability, your softness, your willingness to bend just to avoid conflict. But now she feels the absence of that version of you like a missing heartbeat in the rhythm of her day. She wonders why your messages are shorter, slower, calmer. She wonders why your energy feels grounded instead of anxious. She wonders why you're suddenly okay with silence. And although she'll never admit this out loud, that confusion creates a quiet panic within her, because she realizes you aren't reacting the way she expected. She thought pulling away from you would make you chase harder. She thought acting distant would make you try to prove your worth. But nope. Instead, you became still, composed, and strangely untouchable. That unexpected shift forces her to replay moments in her mind, searching for the reason she no longer holds the same emotional power over you. She starts questioning herself, her choices, her assumptions about you. And confusion, when mixed with curiosity, becomes a very dangerous thing, because it means you're no longer predictable, and unpredictability is the birthplace of respect. Let's keep going deeper into this unraveling. This is the part she never saw coming, the moment when she realizes the control she thought she had over your emotions is gone. Not diminished, not weakened, gone. Because when you finally put yourself first, you remove the very fuel that kept her power alive, your need for her validation. And whether she was conscious of it or not, that validation loop shaped the entire dynamic. She knew that if she pulled away, you'd chase. If she acted cold, you'd warm up even more. If she gave you little, you'd overcompensate. But now you've broken the pattern. Now you're calm where you once were reactive. You're composed where you once were emotional. You're grounded where you once were seeking approval. And that shift hits her with a force she can't ignore. Suddenly, the tactics that once worked, distance, silence, mixed signals, don't create the reaction she expected. Instead of pulling you closer, they push her deeper into uncertainty. She feels the collapse of her influence. the fading of that subtle psychological advantage she never admitted she enjoyed. Your self-respect ruins the old dynamic, and it forces her to see you through a new lens, not as a man craving her attention, but as a man who has finally remembered who he is. And when a man reclaims himself, he becomes someone she can no longer manipulate, someone she can no longer predict, someone she must now rethink entirely. When you finally choose yourself, you don't just change the dynamic, you become a mirror she can't escape. Because your silence, your boundaries, your sudden calmness, they reflect something back to her that she's been avoiding for a long time, her own behavior. And that's the part that stings the most. Not your absence, not your detachment, but what those things reveal. See, as long as you were chasing, she never had to confront the fact that she was giving you the bare minimum. As long as you were pouring your heart out, she never had to face how little she reciprocated. As long as you were bending, she never had to acknowledge how often she took advantage of your willingness to keep the peace. But now, when you pull back, when you prioritize your peace, when you stop engaging in emotional tug-of-war, she suddenly sees all of it clearly. Your silence becomes a spotlight. Your stillness becomes a question. Your boundaries become a challenge she's unsure how to meet. And for the first time, she's forced to think about what she brought to the table, because you're no longer carrying the entire connection on your back. The quiet you once feared becomes the mirror she desperately tries to avoid, but can't. It makes her replay moments where she dismissed you, overlooked you, undervalued you. It makes her wonder if she pushed too far, if she misread your softness as weakness, if she mistook your kindness for dependence. And that internal reflection, it creates discomfort, which then transforms into a deeper form of awareness. That's how respect is born. That's how attraction rebuilds itself. And that's how the power shifts without a single word spoken. Let's keep going. This is the moment she won't talk about, but she feels it in a way that shakes her more than she expected. The slow, undeniable return of respect. Because when you finally put yourself first, you communicate something far more powerful than anger or frustration. You communicate standards. And standards are magnetic. Boundaries are attractive. Self-respect is a force field. She starts to see you differently, not because you changed who you are, but because you stopped accepting less than you deserve. That shift creates a new gravitational pull around you. Your patience feels different now, not like waiting, but like choosing. Your silence feels different, not like absence, but like discipline. Your presence feels different, not eager, but controlled. And that control, that inner steadiness, taps into something primal in her psychology: admiration. See, respect was never missing because you weren't good enough. It was missing because you were too available, too forgiving, too willing to accept emotional scraps. But the moment you step back, the moment you show that you're not afraid to let things fall apart rather than lose yourself in the process, she feels a weight in her chest. She notices the strength she overlooked. She recognizes the value she didn't fully honor. And she begins to rethink every interaction through a new lens, because a man who loves himself is a man a woman cannot help but respect. Let's move forward into what happens next, when respect turns into something deeper, something she wasn't ready to face. Here's where the shift becomes undeniable, because once she senses your self-respect rising, she also begins to feel something far more unsettling: the fear of being replaced. Not because you're trying to make her jealous, not because you're playing games, but because a man who puts himself first radiates an energy that other people notice, especially other women. And trust me, she notices that they notice. She starts imagining the possibility that your silence isn't emptiness, but space being filled by someone else. She wonders who's suddenly appreciating your calm voice, your grounded presence, your emotional maturity. She wonders who you might be giving those long conversations to now, who you might be laughing with, who might be receiving the version of you she took for granted. And this fear doesn't come from insecurity alone. It comes from awareness. Awareness that a man who respects himself becomes rare. Awareness that a man who walks away from disrespect becomes attractive. Awareness that a man who chooses his own peace becomes a man other women naturally gravitate toward. She may not say it out loud, and she may even pretend she doesn't care, but deep inside, the thought creeps in like a shadow. What if someone else is seeing the value I ignored? That idea alone is enough to shake her confidence, because now the dynamic has flipped. You're no longer waiting for her to choose you. She's wondering whether she was ever the prize at all, and once that fear enters her mind, everything that comes next becomes even more powerful. This is where the entire foundation of the connection tilts, quietly, subtly, but unmistakably. Because when you finally put yourself first, the balance of power realigns in a way that she can feel on a deep, instinctive level. You're no longer the man reacting to her, orbiting her, adjusting yourself to keep her comfortable. You've become the man who moves with purpose, who speaks with intention, who no longer seeks emotional permission to exist. And that shift changes everything. She feels it in the way you take longer to reply, not out of spite, but out of a life that's suddenly full again. She senses it in the tone of your voice, calm, unmoved, steady, like a man who's no longer trying to win approval. She notices the difference in your presence. It's heavier, more grounded, more self-contained. She can't sway you with mood swings or silence anymore. She can't pull you back into emotional chaos. Your peace is no longer negotiable. And when a man becomes unmovable, the power naturally shifts toward him. Not because he dominates, but because he refuses to abandon himself. You're not chasing validation. She's seeking clarity. You're not begging for attention. She's trying to understand the distance. You're not trying to hold on. She's trying to figure out why she suddenly feels like the unstable one. This is the paradox of masculine strength. The one who needs the least becomes the one who is valued the most. And whether she hides it or shows it, she now feels the gravity of your transformation. And it pulls her into a place she never expected to be. Let's keep going. This is where the storm hits her, quietly, privately, behind the confident exterior she tries to present to the world. Because once you put yourself first, you trigger an internal battle inside her that she'll never admit out loud. She starts replaying moments, analyzing conversations, wondering where exactly she lost her grip on the dynamic. She questions whether she was too distant, too dismissive, too careless with the version of you who once gave without hesitation. Her mind oscillates between pride and regret. One part of her wants to believe she doesn't care, that she's above it, that she's unbothered. But the deeper, more honest part, that part starts to ache. That part wonders why your silence feels heavier than her words. That part feels jealousy ripple through her when she imagines another woman appreciating your strength, your loyalty, your presence. She feels the sting of realizing you weren't desperate, you were patient. And patience, when mixed with self-respect, is a warning sign that a man is ready to walk away permanently if his peace is threatened. She's suddenly unsure of herself in ways she's never been before. Checking your social media, reading your messages twice, paying attention to details she used to overlook. She starts wondering if she pushed too far, tested too hard, or assumed you'd always stay no matter how little she gave. And that internal conflict becomes a weight she carries quietly, because for the first time, she fears she may have misjudged your strength. There's a moment, subtle but unmistakable, when she realizes something deeper than distance has changed. It's not just that you've pulled back, It's that you're not coming back as the same man she once knew, and this realization hits her harder than any silence ever could. She can sense it in the way you talk now, measured, grounded, unbothered. She can feel it in the way you carry yourself, like a man who no longer needs validation to feel whole. You're different, not colder, not cruel, but evolved. You've outgrown the version of yourself that tolerated mixed signals, disrespect, or emotional crumbs. And she feels that growth like a door closing softly but permanently on the past. She realizes that even if you were to reconnect, you're returning with boundaries, clarity, and a self-worth she can't manipulate. And that scares her, because she knows she only had influence over the man who needed her more than himself, not the man you've become now. She starts to worry that you've emotionally detached in a way that's irreversible. She wonders if someone else helped you heal, if your silence became comfort, if your solitude became strength. She recognizes that the old dynamic isn't just broken, it's abandoned. And the hardest pill for her to swallow is this: she didn't lose you because someone else took you. She lost you because you finally chose yourself. That's when she understands that the man coming back, if he comes back at all, is no longer hers to control. He belongs to his purpose, his growth, his peace. He belongs to himself. Let's move into the final chapter. And now we reach the part that matters most. Not what she thinks, not what she fears, not what she realizes, but who you become when you finally put yourself first. Because this entire journey wasn't about winning her back or proving anything to anyone. It was about reclaiming your inner throne, the one you abandoned when you believed love required self-sacrifice instead of self-respect. When a man chooses himself, he steps into a quieter, steadier kind of power, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. You begin moving like water, calm on the surface, unshakable underneath. The world starts responding differently to you because you're no longer driven by desperation, doubt, or insecurity. You're driven by purpose, you're driven by clarity, you're driven by a sense of worth that no one can give you, and nope, no one can take away. And here's the truth most men don't realize until they grow through the fire. You don't attract what you chase, you attract what you embody. When you embody discipline, you attract respect. When you embody peace, you repel chaos. When you embody self-worth, you naturally rise above anything that once drained your spirit. Whether she returns or not becomes irrelevant, because your life is no longer built around who stays. It's built around who you become. You are stepping into your stoic strength, into the kind of masculine presence that stands tall, without yelling, without forcing, without begging. A presence that commands loyalty simply by existing. So as we close this video, my stoic soldier, if you felt this message in your chest, make sure you like this video, comment "I choose myself," subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson in self-mastery, emotional discipline, and inner power. Thank you for watching, thank you for growing, and thank you for choosing the path of the stoic soldier. Your transformation has already begun.